All right. Whoops. Pressed enter when I didn't want it to press enter. Oh well. I'll just have to name the study later. Not a big deal. All right. Shalom, everyone. We are back. We are going to be doing Ayub 33 and 34. Let me see here. So, Sister Sadia, would you like to do chapter 33 for us?
Yeah, I will. No problem.
Well, let me put the scriptures up for you so it's a little bit easier.
Okay.
Just so they're, because I put my font in very bold, so you should be able to.
Okay.
Here, let me go to Job. Where's Job here? Job. All right, so let me just fix this real quick. And I'll give you an easy one to read from here. Let's see here. So, all right, whenever you're ready, sis.
Okay, hang on. Alrighty. Okay, let me get it right in here. My phone won't go sideways with you, only straight up. So, okay, trying to make it. Yeah. Okay, so here it goes. Oh, shoot. I got to go get a charge. Hang on.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
1 second. Don't fall asleep on me.
No, I won't.
I'm coming. I'm going to go get my charger. I just noticed the red. I'm on red.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm on red. Hang
on. Zoom. I hate the way Zoom kills people's phones, man. I really hate that.
Okay. Well, I'll just, I'm coming real good. Let me take it with me in the living room. Okay.
How much can I zoom in?
Okay, let me slow down because then I'm not going to be able to breathe. Hey, almost there, you guys. Oh, you little thief. Okay, my dog. I got up and he got into my bowl. Come.
Oh,
1 second, honey. Almost there, you guys.
No problem.
Hold on. I gotta go by the couch and I gotta prop myself up there. Okay. Almost there. You're gonna get it. You thief.
Oh, I'm trying to run away.
The doggy. Okay. Thank God. We made it. I'm in. Okay, here we go. Alrighty. Okay, however, Ayub, please hear my speech and listen to all my words. See now, I have opened my mouth. My tongue has spoken in my mouth. My words shall utter the uprightness of my heart. That which my lips know, they shall speak sincerely. The Ruach of Yah has made me, the breath of Shaddai gives me life. Is that right? Yeah.
Yep.
If you can answer me, set your words in order before me and stand forth. Behold, I am towards Yah, even as you are. I am also formed out of the clay. Behold, my terror shall not make you afraid, neither shall my pressure be heavy on you. He excuses Yah from giving man an account of his ways by his greatness. Surely you have spoken in my hearing. I have heard the voice of your words saying, I am clean without disobedience. I am innocent, neither is there iniquity in me. Behold, he finds occasions against me. Or is that accusations?
Or no, occasions. You had it right the first time.
Okay. Against me. He counts me for his enemies. He puts my feet in stocks. He marks my path. Behold, I will answer you. In this you are not just, for Yah is greater than man. Why do you strive against him? Because he does not give an account of any of his matters. Abba calls two men repentance by visions, by afflictions, and by his ministry. 14. For Yah speaks once, yes, twice, through man, though man pays no attention. In a dream, in a vision at night. Oh, shoot. When deep sleep falls on men and slumbering on the bed. Then he opens the ears of men and seals their instructions, that he may withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from man. He keeps back his soul from the pit and his life from perishing by the sword. He is chastened.
Yep.
I can't say the whole word. I'm trying to say it. He has chastened also with pain on his bed, with continual strife in his bones, so that his life arbors bread and his soul dainty food.
Dainty, yep.
What is that word, dainty food?
Dainty, it's like petite
tasty.
or like something.
Little.
Yeah, very little. Yeah.
Okay.
Dainty means tasty, actually.
Soul
Really?
dainty. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you. I thought dainty because the word dainty is, little. I mean, really prissy. His flesh is so consumed away that he can't be seen. His bones that were not seen stick out. Yes, his soul draws near to the pit, and his life to the destroyer. If there be beside him an angel, an interpreter, one among thousands, to show man what is right for him, then Yah is gracious to him and says, deliver him from going down to the pit. I have found a ransom. His flesh shall be fresher than a child's. His return to the days of his youth. He prays to Yah, and he is favorable to him, so that he sees his face with joy. He restores to man his righteousness. He sings before men and says, I have sinned and perverted that which is right, and it does not profit me. He has redeemed my soul from going into the pit. Hallelujah. My life shall see the light. Behold, Yah works all things. Twice, yes, 3 times. And yes, 3 times with the man, to bring back his soul from the pit, that he may be enlightened with the light of the living. And then he says, he entices Job to attention. Mark well, Job, and listen to me. Hold your peace, and I will speak. If you have anything to say, answer me. Speak, for I desire justify you. If not, listen to me. Hold your peace, and I will teach you wisdom. Wow.
Yeah, you did a great job, sis.
Yeah.
You did a great job.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, so who's this speaking? Elihu here? Yeah. Elihu is speaking here. I find it interesting. His name is very similar to the prophet Elijah. I wonder if he is from a priest lineage like we found out last time. I think he might have been from one, just the fact that his name is so similar to the prophet Elijah.
He's from the same family, it seems, as Ezekiel, actually.
Okay. Mom,
Ezekiel was a Buzite.
Well, Mom, was Elijah the Tishbite? He was. Isn't it rumored that he was a priest or something?
I think so.
Yeah, he was like. I think it was rumored that supposedly he was a priest or something. But yeah. So he's from Ezekiel's family. So that's interesting.
I was trying to figure out what tribe he was from one day, because it has been said by different people that the 2 witnesses
Yeah.
One is from, there's one there, one is from one house and one is from the other, so that you have the southern and the northern house.
Yeah, that's all
I
tradition.
don't know.
That's all
true or not.
tradition. There's no scripture that says the two houses
Right.
are represented in the two witnesses. There's no scripture about that. No, I disagree with that. It doesn't have to be from people that were even part of the houses. Like Masha, Masha would be what from Levi. So that's the southern house, and let's just say it's Masha and Elijah. Technically, both of them are from the same house when you talk about the two houses. So it doesn't have to be exactly northern and southern house. That's tradition.
Yeah, I know.
Most people that make that argument too, just to explain for people, by the way, most people that make that argument don't even believe Masha and Elijah being those two people. They believe it's not even people, that it's physically Israel, and that Israel as a whole is the two witnesses. So most people I've heard say that tradition usually don't accept that Masha and Elijah are the two witnesses. So from what I've looked into, they believe Israel as a whole are his two witnesses. So that's why they say that. So
Well, it was Jim, and he wasn't saying that. He was.
No, I know.
He, you know, he's very much wanting to keep all.
He too. A lot of people out there to a fault are trying to make it all about Israel and all about the two houses, and to a fault are making assumptions like that. When Yahuwah could have chose any two people that even predate. It could be patriarchs that predate the 12 houses. For example, some people think Enoch's one of them. Enoch was not part of any house. So let's just say we're wrong and one of them is Enoch. So, we have to be careful about that. So, Yahuwah's going to choose who he's going to choose. So there's no way to tell that it's even from both two houses. There's no way to tell. So, but yeah, I've heard that opinion about it. But anyway, so let me see here. There was a lot of interesting stuff. The breath of Shaddai gives me life. I want to look up and see what the Septuagint has to say about that. I think instead of Shaddai, it uses something else. Yeah, the divine spirit is that which formed me. The breath of the Almighty, that which teaches me. Now, I just want to look into something real quick. I want to make sure that's supposed to be Almighty. Sometimes I've noticed sometimes they'll mistranslate there's one Greek word that means Almighty, but there's another Greek word that means Sabaoth, or is a Greek translation of Sabaoth. So I do want to kind of here. Where is could have swore I had it here. The Apostolic Bible Polyglot, Strong's keyed into it. I guess I don't. I'm going to look into that real quick, because sometimes Breton and other translators screw that up. So let me just make sure that's Almighty there. But the divine spirit, what that reminds me of is sometimes the Ruach Hadash in the Septuagint will be called the divine spirit of wisdom. So I just found that interesting that it's worded a little differently. Let me see here. So that was Job. What verse is it that talks about Shaddai or Almighty?
I don't know, because it's not like that.
It doesn't say either one.
It doesn't. No, it says Almighty.
Yeah, that's. I'm just looking for the verse that says Almighty. It's all right.
Because I was reading in the
verse 4. Yeah. So Job 33 verse 4 says, "The divine spirit which made me, the breath of the Almighty." Now the Greek word here is not Almighty. I think it should be different than Almighty. I'm of the opinion this word is actually supposed to be not just Almighty, but ruler of all, who holds all things. Omnipotent seems to be another possible translation of this Greek word, which omnipotent is a lot more powerful than just almighty. Omnipotent means he's possessor of everything. So the way the Septuagint, in my opinion, this verse should be translated as the divine spirit that which formed me, the breath of the omnipotent one that which teaches me. And that's kind of interesting because we see that too. You know, it talks about First John talks about the anointing that's on you, that the spirit is the one that teaches us, right? Or doesn't Yahushua talk about the comforter? He will remind you, not she. He will remind you everything I tell you. So those that think the spirit's a she, they might want to go to the New Testament, where clearly in the Greek has the word for he. He is the one. He will remind you of everything that I taught you. So again, this Yahuwah's Ruach's a he, not a she. Okay, so, but yeah, that's what reminds me of that is in Job 33:4, the Septuagint. The omnipotent one is the one teaching me. So I think omnipotent's a little bit stronger and fits that Greek word better than almighty. But anyway. Moving on. Let me see here. Let me go. Since I'm looking at stuff here, I might as well go to the LXXE here. Yeah. Okay, so let's see here. If you could give me an answer, wait, therefore stand against me. You are formed out of clay, as also I. We have been formed out of the same. My fear shall not terrify you, neither shall my hand be heavy upon you. Just trying to see if there's any difference here. And there wasn't much really to expound on this. We might just go straight into the last chapter here. I don't see much. For he that is above mortals. I like this one. How does your verse 12 say in the NIV, Mom?
It says, but I tell you, in this you are not right, for Yahuwah is greater than man.
That's it? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I like how the Septuagint says, for how you say I am righteous, yet he has not hearkened to me, or he that is above mortals is eternal. So yeah, the Lexham sometimes they paraphrase a little bit, which is fine. It's saying the same thing. It's just that I like the way the Bretons words it because it's showing that he's like forever. Like he has no beginning and end, Alpha, Omega. So I just like the way the Bretons has it there. So the NIV uses Yahuwah instead of he. I see. Okay. So the Masoretic has he, Yahuwah instead of he. Okay. But it's funny that it doesn't mention eternal in the Masoretic. That's kind of interesting. It just says he's greater. So it leaves out eternal.
Yeah.
What the heck? I don't know, man. To quote Ken Hovind, if you believe in an Elohim that's not eternal, man, you can keep that Elohim. That whole debate he had with the atheist that one time. He's like, if you believe in a God that is dependent on space, time, and matter, I don't want to be worshiping that type of God. So yeah, but it's kind of interesting that eternal is left out there in the Masoretic. That's interesting. All right. So anyway, I just wanted to double check some of these things. I had a feeling there was going to be differences. For when Yahuwah speaks once, a second time. Just curious to see if that's Yahuwah there in verse 14. No, I missed this as well. Job 33:14 should say Yahuwah instead of Elohim. So notice a little difference here. So you got LXX Yahuwah, Masoretic text has Elohim there, or Alua if you prefer. Okay, so verse 14, there's definitely a difference there. See. Go ahead, Brother Yahusha.
On that note, on the dreams note, something just something to consider. I know you don't put too much stock into dreams, but just based off of this verse and based off of just what I noticed, um, and what I've noticed, you know, as a kid, I would always dream. I would always remember my dreams. Not that every dream came from Yahuwah, but just the fact that I did dream and I did remember those dreams. And then now today, I noticed that when I put like certain things in my body, whether it's GMO or whether it's pesticide or whatever it is, certain things I'll notice from night to night, depending on, if the more natural I eat, the more that my sleep is regulated. I have that period of, I think it's 4 hours of dreaming and 4 hours of not dreaming. I have a regular night sleep, with dreams, and those dreams are, I wake up and I remember what happened throughout the night. I just wonder if like the one of the intentions of, you know of certain things that if the enemy can just get you to not, I mean, Yahuwah can speak to you either way. He can speak to you however.
Yeah.
But I just wonder if one of the ways, that Yahuwah does speak to us in dreams, if the enemy has intentionally tried to cut that out, because most people don't dream. Most people say that they don't dream, or they don't remember their dreams, even if they did. So I almost wonder if Satan has intentionally tried to sever that route of communication.
I think it's very possible. I think it's very possible. Yeah, I think a lot of, like you said, a lot of what we eat, the chemicals in our food, could easily be cutting off any type of memory. I think what it really is in just physiological sense is that our brains are not working full capacity because of what we put in our bodies. So we forget things a lot more than former generations would have. And, I think that alone, real science would prove that the food is part of the problem. And you putting chemicals into your body that you're not supposed to ingest, there's gonna be physiological problems, especially when remembering your dreams, remembering, even when exactly you went to sleep. My mom, sometimes we'll be talking about stuff like that. My mom will admit to me she doesn't, half the time she doesn't remember when exactly she went to sleep the prior night. So I think it's definitely the additives they put in our food for decades upon decades upon decades have definitely physiologically probably cut that off. Yeah, I would agree. There's definitely a connection between that, and yeah, probably Satan doesn't want us remembering a dream if Yahuwah sent us a dream. I'm kind of like, I don't put much stock into dreams just because it can, like you said, bro, it can come from either source.
Mm-hmm.
So even if I remembered a dream, what I would always do, this is just what I do, because First John 4 says test the spirits. I believe that's including dreams as well.
Mm-hmm.
Test what the dream's telling you to do, or what's the message of the dream. And I believe that that's what you have to do if you do remember dreams. I know there's some people out there that do remember their dreams. So I guess what I'm saying here is for them out there that do remember their dreams, just be careful. That's all I'm saying. Be careful, because the enemy can do the same thing. He can put a thought in your head. He can put a dream in your mind. And the enemy can counterfeit Yahuwah's voice half the time as well. Not just dreams, but thoughts and voices that come into your head are not always Yahuwah's voice. So just be careful about that as well.
I find it very easy to know the dreams that the evil one has given to me, because it's usually bringing back, drudging up old things that have been dealt with, that have been repented of. And, all of a sudden, this item is in your dream. He's, to me, I'm sorry, he's not transparent. I can know his little attempts
Yeah.
very easily.
Yeah. I'm interested in verse 23 here in the Septuagint. It talks about messengers of death. And I kind of wonder, because I believe the adversary is the destroyer in Exodus 12. So I wonder who Ayub is talking about, messengers of death. Kind of wonder. There's other extra biblical traditions about, what the armies that choose to follow Satan, what they would be called. So I kind of wonder. Yahuwah can use anyone for his purpose. So, we tend to not think about that Yahuwah can even use fallen Malachim for his purpose. So I kind of wonder if it's referring to human messengers or heavenly messengers when he says 1,000 messengers of death, because, isn't myriad supposed to be like many, but sometimes translations will say thousands. Like I've noticed that with Jude, like the book of Jude, when it talks about Yahuwah's righteous messengers, it says, thousands of set apart ones. Sometimes it will
Legions
say
is an exact amount. You can look up legions when it says legions.
So I see sometimes though English translators, to try to do the best to their ability, they'll translate myriad as like thousands or thousand of thousands. So when I see thousands messengers of death, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm kind of thinking back to Exodus 12 there, So it's interesting though. There should be 1,000 messengers of death. Not one of them shall work. Oh, actually, this would kind of support my theory here. So this is talking about messengers of death attacking him, but Yahuwah protects him. Though there should be 1,000 messengers of death, not one of them shall wound him. Kind of reminds me of Psalms 91, where you see, what does it say? It says, nothing shall hurt you. Well, what Psalms is it, Mom, that talks about 1,000 are at each side and they don't harm you?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Not one of them shall wound him if he should.
I think that might be Psalms 91, possibly.
Okay. So now, Mom, what your version says for verse 23 there? I'm just curious if it says messengers of death or not, or maybe destroyers.
Yet, if there is an angel on his side as a mediator, 1 out of 1,000.
Angel as a mediator?
Yeah, angel on his side as a mediator.
Okay, that's different. That's a lot different. That's a lot different. That I seriously doubt angels are mediators at this point. Just what I know about what a certain book that I do believe is scripture shows that Yahuwah kind of stopped that. He doesn't use messengers as intercessors anymore. So yeah, I would have to agree with the Septuagint on that one.
So I have a question on that then. Because I know he's talking to at least those that descended in the days of Jared. But then that leaves me, if that is extended to all of the messengers, it makes me wonder, like, why is he telling I think was it Psalms 82 or the Psalms where he says, and talks about the council of the
divine council. Yeah.
Right. And he's telling them to rule rightly among men.
Well, that would not be like though intercession.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I'm trying to explain to the audience. I know and all of us know what intercession is, but many people, maybe Christians watching, might not understand the difference here. Intercession is like a messenger takes your prayer up to the Father, and we really don't see that after the days of Noah. Really, you don't see that anymore. You can say that they take his cries, the cries of mankind are taken up to Yahuwah, but that's different from intercessing. They're reporting to Yahuwah, okay, well, Sodom and Gomorrah have done this and that. That's
that one. Yeah.
They're so that's what I believe about that. I think that after the certain time period, Yahuwah stopped using angels.
There's a big one there is, but not probably not that one.
see here. So anyway, but a good question, bro. That's a very good question. But yeah.
Yahushua was right about 91. Psalm 91 is where for that protection.
Yeah, let's go there real quick. I just want to show that that connection here. So you got Psalms 91 here. It talks about Yahuwah is my helper, my
Sorry,
refuge.
guys, I didn't realize I was coming.
For he shall deliver you from the snare of the hunters, from troublesome manner. He shall overshadow you with his shoulders. You shall trust under his wings. His truth shall cover you with a shield. Now that's talking about Yahusha. You shall not be afraid of terror by night or arrow flying by day. The thing that walks in darkness, an evil spirit at noonday. Interesting. Evil spirits at noonday. I wonder what that's about. I know that 3 a.m. is the witching hour, but I never knew that there's something about noon that evil spirits are attacking people. It's kind of interesting. Only with your eyes shall you observe and see the reward of sinners. For you, O Yahuwah, are my trust. You, my soul, has made the Most High your refuge. No evil shall come upon you, no scourge shall draw near to your dwelling. For he shall give his messengers charge concerning you to keep you in all your ways. Now that would be physical, in my opinion. That's talking about like, and you'll see like the next verse how this is talking about physical, not intercessing. They shall bear you up on their hands, lest at any time you dash your foot against a stone. And by the way, this is where Satan quotes from and perverts and tries to distort it to make Yahusha break the fast that he's doing. You shall tread on the asp and basilisk. Interesting. You shall trample on the lion and the dragon. Now, in mythology, if you understand what a basilisk was in mythology, you'll understand why that's a big claim for Yahuwah to say, if you trust me, you'll be able to do that. A basilisk in mythology, and in some movies they even show it, it's like it's almost like a dragon without wings. A basilisk would be like 100-foot high serpent. So he's saying you're going to tread.
Don't exist. I ain't never seen one. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's possible he could be talking about a regular basilisk lizard. It's possible. It's possible.
No, I was just kidding. I believe they exist.
They're very popular in the Chinese culture. You'll see like the wingless dragons in the Chinese culture a lot, where their dragons almost look like a giant snake because there's no wings, there's no arms. It's just, it's a long, tall, giant red serpent. So, and then it talks about the dragon and the lion, that you can trample them as well if you trust in Yahuwah. By the way, this partially is fulfilled if we would have had Psalms 151 in our Bibles today. This would have been partially fulfilled when Dawood, he recounts that when he was a young man growing up, Yahuwah, guided him and gave him the strength to kill lions. So there's actual, this is not just spiritual. I know people like to take this as spiritual and talking about demonic entities, but I believe this is physical as well. It's talking about literal dragons, literal lions, literal basilisks, and all that. We see what Yahuwah did for Samson. So, for he has hoped in me, I will deliver him. I will protect him. One of the most famous verses I love to use about the importance on using Yahuwah's name here. Because, so there's a prerequisite for Yahuwah's protection. He has known my name. So, for those out there that say, oh, it's okay, we can call him God, Lord, Jesus, whatever. Okay. Then what do you do with this verse? It says, I will protect him because he has known my name. So, very important. It just because, you could be saved without knowing his name does not mean that there aren't certain prerequisites we get for knowing his true nature, knowing his name. We get extra protection, you could say. There are what is the word I'm looking for? There are extra things that Yahuwah gives to those that really know him. rewards in the kingdom, stuff like that. So that's what I see. I see extra protection to those that know his name. He shall call upon me. I will hearken to him. I will be with him in affliction. I will deliver him and esteem him. I will satisfy him with the length of days and show him my salvation. Now that's interesting. Show him my salvation. Now we know that Yahusha is the salvation of Yahuwah, right? So it's actually saying those that love Yahuwah's name, he'll reveal to them Yahusha. So that's another requisite of honoring his name and knowing his name.
When you're really reading the prophets, it becomes blatantly obvious to you how important his name is. All throughout Ezekiel, all throughout Jeremiah, my name, great among the nations, my name. It is just an overwhelming theme.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, a lot of people in the church are not reading those books. They're not reading the prophets. They're not reading the portions of scripture where he's talking to you about his name. And
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So it's very important though, and I kind of wonder if the Masoretic here says show him my salvation. I kind of wonder if they changed that.
What version were you reading out of the LXXE?
Yeah, and that's just an acronym for LXX is 70 in Roman numerals, and E means English. So basically, it's the Septuagint in English. Bretons, it's specifically the 1851 Bretons on the word software. The eSword will just call it Bretons, but it's pretty much the same thing. I like it because it shows the difference in chapter numberings. So like 91 in the Masoretic is 90 in the Book of Psalms. So they try their best to fix the numbering of the chapters and all that. So, but yeah, it says, I will satisfy him with the length of days to show him my salvation. That's how the Bretons words it. And I will protect him because he has known my name, verse 14 there. I think even the Masoretic shows that too with the name thing. Let me just see here. I really like how the NLT puts it in
Bible Hub doesn't have the Bretons because I try to look for it and it's not on Bible Hub.
Oh, your eSword doesn't have the Bretons?
The one I use, the Bible.
Okay. Yeah, I think Bretons you can either find on eSword for iPad. The Bretons should be, I think you can only really find it on eSword. Now, Bible Hub does have it too. I'll send you a link. I'll send you a link to where Bible Hub has it. But Bible Hub does have it. I remember finding it.
I looked for it and I didn't see it on Bible Hub.
Let me see here. I'm gonna find it for you real quick. Let's see here. Go to Bible Hub, search. It might. Let me see here. See here. What you got to do is you got to set it to set it for an Old Testament book. Says so. Like I'll send you the link with Genesis 1:1. You click on the Bible tab, and then it will show Bretons. It will actually say Bretons Septuagint. So I'm going to give you the link though, so you'll be able to find it.
Telegram or iMessage.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see here. I'm going to send it to your Telegram, so it should be easy for you to find it.
Yeah. Thanks, Doug.
You're welcome. Yeah, but what you gotta do with like the Aramaic New Testament, you got to make sure you're on a New Testament book on that app, and then with the Septuagint, you got to make sure you're on like Genesis to Deuteronomy or whatever. It can't be a New Testament book because it's just not gonna. The tab won't even show up. Like say because Bible Hub for whatever reason, whenever you go to Bible Hub, it's automatically on the Book of Matthew, and you gotta actually change the book that it's on. So that's probably what happened. But yeah, Bretons you can find anywhere. BibleStudyTools.com. It's very popular. The 1851 Bretons is very, very popular version of the Septuagint. So it's very easy to find. Let's see here. So yeah, I just wanted to show that the importance of because he has known my name. Now, I did want to look at the NLT and just see, because I remember I really liked how the NLT paraphrased it. And let me just see that real quick. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Psalms 91, verse 14. It says here, Yahuwah says, I will rescue those who love me. I will protect those who trust in my name. That's from the New Living Translation. I really like how the NLT paraphrases that because it shows that those who trust in his name love him. That's actually what it's saying in that verse. So it's showing that love is action. It's not just, oh, I love you, emotional. It's, I love you. I call upon your name. I obey you. That's love to him. So I like how the New Living, 2 thumbs up from Brother Doug for the New Living Translation of that verse. They did a great job. I do like the NLT a lot of the times. They do paraphrase it to try to give it more of a amplified meaning, you could say. So, yeah. All right. So anyway, I think I'm just going to finish us off with Job 34, just for time's sake. Let's see here, Job 34. And I'll do compare view here for you guys. So let me just fix this real quick. I'm going to do, I'll do the Brenton's LXXE, and I'll try something new here. I want to try. I'm curious to see how the Vulgate has it read. So I'm going to compare the two, see if the Vulgate blends with the Septuagint or not. After proclaiming these things, Eliyahu now had this to say. Hear me, you wise men, hearken, you that have knowledge. For the ear tries words and the mouth tastes meat. Let us choose right ruling to ourselves. Let us know the amount ourselves what is right. Okay, for Ayub has said, I am righteous. Yahuwah has removed my right ruling. Oh, they're actually using the Masoretic, funny enough. It's interesting. It's interesting that the Catholic doesn't use the Septuagint in this book. It's kind of interesting. So you have, already we see here in verse 5, got Elohim, and the Septuagint has Yahuwah. Interesting. And he has erred in my right ruling. My wound is severe without unrighteousness. What man is as Ayub, drinking, scorning like water? I have not sinned and not committed wickedness, nor had fellowship with the workers of lawlessness to go with the wicked. For you should not say, there shall be no visitation of a man, whereas a visitation on him from Yahuwah. And again, we have Elohim and then Yahuwah. So it's kind of interesting here. I'm noticing that trend is happening again. All right, so we're about to be at verse 10 there. Therefore, hear me, you that are wise in heart. Far be it from me to sin before Yahuwah and pervert righteousness before the omnipotent one. I'm going to say omnipotent because I have a feeling it's that same Greek word we already looked at. And by the way, it should not be almighty in your Masoretic. It should be Shaddai. So just FYI, your English translators mistranslate Shaddai as almighty by tradition. Shaddai does not, from what I've looked into, there's no proof that Shaddai means almighty. So that's another tradition. So in the Masoretic, it would actually say Shaddai. So see here in the Septuagint probably would say omnipotent. Yea, he renders to a man accordingly as each of them does, and in a man's path he will find him. Interesting. find him, or pay him. Yeah, that's kind of similar. And do you think that Yahuwah will do wickedness, or will the omnipotent who made the earth rest right ruling? So again, we have Masoretic base has Elohim, Septuagint has Yahuwah. So this happens a lot in the book of Ayub. Ayub will really expose the Masoretes and what they did to the text, because you're going to see like hundreds of times they're changing Yahuwah to Elohim in the text. And who is he that made the whole world under heaven and all things therein? For if he would confine and restrain his spirit with himself. Okay. Interesting.
Which verse
All
was
flesh
that?
would die together. Now, that's interesting. So the Septuagint poses it as a question. For if he would confine and restrain his spirit within himself. The Masoretic is more talking about, him giving his spirit to those that want to obey him, which is just as valid. All flesh would die together, and every mortal would return to the earth where also he was formed. So it's basically saying, yeah, if Yahuwah was to do that and refrain his spirit and keep it to himself, all flesh would be done for. Take heed lest he rebuke. Hear this, hearken to the voice of words. Behold, then, the one that hates lawlessnesses and that destroys the wicked, who is forever righteous. Now, again, the Masoretic is trying to make it look like Job is condemning him, or that Job is against Yahuwah. But verse 17 in the Septuagint does not say anything about Job condemning him. It says that, and he that destroys the wicked, who is forever righteous. So, again, it seems like the Masoretic is trying to change the narrative. The wicked that says to a king, you are a transgressor, to princes, O most wicked one, such as would not reverence the face of the honorable man, neither knows how to give honor to the great, so as that their person should be respected. But it shall turn out vanity to them to cry and beseech a man, for they dealt unlawfully, the poor being turned aside. For he surveys the works of men, and nothing of what they do has escaped them. That's an interesting omission. That's interesting. So it seems like the Masoretic leaves out has escaped him, like nothing they do can escape him. So that's a little interesting there. We're at Job 34:21. So has Masoretic text leaves out has escaped him. Neither shall there be a place for the workers of lawlessness to hide themselves. For he will not lay upon man more than right. For Yahuwah looks down upon all men who comprehends unsearchable things. Okay, that's different. Huge difference in wording. For Yahuwah looks down upon all men who comprehend unsearchable things, esteems also and excellent things without number. So that's kind of interesting.
Which verse was that?
That was Job 34:24.
Thank you.
So the Septuagint seems to include a little bit extra there that the Masoretic doesn't have, which we kind of see in other places. In Jeremiah, he says, I'll show you unsearchable things you've never known. That's what that kind of reminds me of. Who discovers their works and will bring to nothing upon them, and that they shall be brought low. And he quite destroys the wicked, for they are seen before him, because they turned aside from the law of Alua and did not regard his ordinances. Yeah, this reminds me of 2 Thessalonians, because they did not receive the love of the truth. They were given to a reprobate mind and all that. They were, since they didn't receive the love of the truth, they wouldn't be saved. So I'm going to make a little note for myself. 2 Thessalonians 2:9-12, you compare with Job 34:27 of the Septuagint. So as to bring before him to the cry of the needy, for he will hear the cry of the poor. And he will give quiet, and who will condemn? He will hide his face, and who shall see him? Whether it be done against a nation or against a man also, causing a hypocrite to be a king because of the waywardness of the people. Sounds similar to the Torah, how Yahuwah gives wicked kings to his people because of their wickedness. Yeah. All right, verse 37. Oh, my bad, not 37, 31. For one that says to the mighty one, I have received, I will not take a pledge. Now, what I find interesting here, again, the Masoretic just has Alua or Elohim. The Septuagint has a specific Greek word that means the mighty one, which is, a lot more specific. Almost like saying the true mighty one, the true deity. So it's a little more specific. Yeah. I will see apart from myself. Do you show me? If I have done unrighteousness, I will not do anymore. Will he take vengeance for it on you, whereas you will put far, for you shall choose and not I, and what you know you speak. Because the wise in heart shall say this, and a wise man listens to my word. But Ayub has not spoken with understanding. His words are not uttered with knowledge. Howbeit do you learn, Ayub? No longer make an answer as the foolish, that we add not to our sins, for lawlessness will be reckoned against us if we speak many words before Yahuwah. Interesting. So that's pretty much the end of our study for today. As you can see, Elihu is making the assumption that Job is making accusation against Yahuwah, where we don't see any proof of that with what Job has, with what Ayub has said so far. He's not saying Yahuwah is wrong or Yahuwah is in the wrong. He's just questioning things. And so you can see Elihu is kind of jumping the gun. He's like, he's kind of like assuming things. And this is why there's an old saying my dad used to say. I'm going to try to clean it up a little bit. You know what happens when you assume? You make a donkey out of you and me. Okay, so never a good thing to assume things. And that's what I could take away from these two chapters which we read. Do not be presumptuous. Do not assume. Always search out a matter. Don't assume things. And that's all I could say about that. And be careful of laying an accusation against your brother or sister when you don't know the whole story yet. Go ahead, Brother Yahusha.
If his accusation, if what he is saying is not accurate, how come he is not charged by Yahuwah? Only the other three are charged.
I don't know. I don't know why that would be then, yeah. Because what he's saying that Job said, Job really didn't say. He's being presumptuous with a lot of the things that he's accusing him of. Like Job never outright said Yahuwah's in the wrong. Like Job never outright, so it would be like me walking up to another brother and presuming by the way the brother's acting that he's accusing the Most High of something. Essentially, because remember, Elihu was not there the whole time. He was not there to see Job's the whole story of Job complaining and all that. So, you know, he's kind of outside.
We don't know if he was there the whole time because it never shows when he shows up.
Okay, I thought it said somewhere in the text that Elihu came to them. Okay, all right. Maybe I'm misremembering.
He just pops up out of nowhere. He just starts speaking.
Oh, okay.
He never says he came or he left. He just starts speaking.
All right, maybe Ayub was guilty of that. I just don't see it in the text. I don't see him, what the text gives us of the story, the whole story from start to finish. You don't see Ayub ever saying what he's claiming he said. So it's like, you know, that's why I think Elihu is being presumptuous. He's kind of assuming that Ayub is saying that Yehu is at fault, he's in the right, Yehu is in the wrong. When Ayub never said that. Ayub is more questioning from what we get from, especially the Septuagint, what we get is that Ayub's questioning why is this happening to him, more or less, than really making an accusation against the Creator. So that's what I mean by that. I don't see any proof in the text that Elihu would be right. I think at minimum he's presuming and assuming things. And maybe Yahuwah didn't lay anything against him. Maybe Yahuwah is showing mercy to him because he's the younger, and he, you know, maybe Yahuwah is showing mercy to Elihu. That's why he doesn't, you know, punish him with anything. I don't know. But I have yet to see proof of what Elihu, like, as we're reading through the whole book of Ayub here, I have yet to see proof of what Elihu is prosecuting him with, you could say. So that's why I believe what I believe, that, you know, that he's being presumptuous at best, and he's assuming, not really paying careful. It'd be like someone, like a troll on YouTube, as we're doing a study, assuming things by the way I speak, that I'm saying something when I'm not.
If you go to if you go to chapter 40, this is possible evidence out of Ayub's own mouth, depending on how you interpret what he's saying. He says, and Yahuwah Allah answered Ayub and said, will anyone pervert judgment with the mighty one? And he that reproves Yahuwah, let him answer it. And Ayub answered and said to Yahuwah, why do I yet plead, being rebuked even while reproving Yahuwah, hearing such things, whereas I am nothing? And what shall I answer to these? I will lay my hand upon my mouth.
Okay. So maybe Ayub, you know, realized he might have spoke out of term at some point, I guess. But yeah, that's the only proof. What you've shown here is the only proof I can see that he would be in the wrong at any point, or that he was laying accusation against Yahuwah at any point. Because for the most of the time, he's just asking questions. The majority of the time, he's like, why is this happening to me? You know, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm claiming my innocence. So in the Septuagint, it makes it more or less that he's just presenting his innocence. And the Masoretic seems more or less where their side of his account is that the way the Masoretic text has him speak, he's, you know, making it look like he's in the right and Yahuwah's in the wrong. So it could just be he spoke out of terms at a certain point, is I think why he's repenting. At that point, he's like, yeah, I'm going to keep my mouth shut because my mouth's got me in trouble. You know, maybe he spoke out of terms or said something he didn't want to say. That's the only thing I can think of, because the you know, it's hard from you looking at the Septuagint version that to find any conclusion that he would have willfully been saying Yahuwah's in the wrong and I'm in the right. You know, so I think it's the fact that, like, from this verse here, like you brought up, that he does realize he screwed up at some point with his words. And now he doesn't want to talk anymore. He wants to keep his mouth shut. Yeah, it's possible Yahuwah could have been using Elihu to try to get him to, kind of close the trap there. It's very possible. But yeah. So yeah. Yeah. Other than that, though, there wasn't much to really glean from chapter 34. I couldn't really think of anything else. I mean, obviously, we see Elihu try to tell him you're speaking foolishly, you're acting foolishly, and all that. Trying to show him, Yahuwah is perfect. Does he rest right ruling if someone's guilty and all that? Pretty much that's mainly it. Yeah. So anyway, I think that's going to be the end for today's read. Oh, go ahead, Brother Yahusha. I didn't realize you had your hand up. Go ahead.
That was an old hand, but I would like to read this. I want to go back and read these chapters on my own. But someone else had put in the final chapters of Ayub, what happened to Elihu, son of Barakal, the Buzite of the clan of Ram. And let me go down. Hold on. The reason that Yahuwah did not rebuke Elihu is because he spoke truth about Job's condition, unlike Job's three friends. Job's three friends accused Job of either doing something sinful or refraining from doing something that he should have done. Elihu, on the other hand, did not accuse Ayub of some kind of outward sin. Yahuwah had declared Ayub's actions as righteous. Elihu confronted Ayub with his inherent sinfulness and not with any specific external sinful behavior or action. Elihu's rebuke was strictly based on the fact that Ayub was self-righteous and he justified himself rather than justifying Yahuwah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I would definitely agree with that commentary. I would definitely agree with that. Because there's nothing physical we can really point to that he did wrong other than his words, or his mentality that, I'm above reproach, I'm above, being in affliction because I've done this and that. And like the commentator saying, he's trusting his outward works of righteousness to feel entitled. Mm-hmm. So I would definitely agree. I see that. I would definitely agree with that. Yeah, but I think that at most that's what he would have been. That's really the only sin he could be accused of is his mentality and his inward sin, and stuff like that, and entitledness and his mentality. Which it is a self-righteous type of mentality if we think just because of our works of righteousness, that which, by the way, in Yahuwah's sight are filthy rags. Mm-hmm. Even it doesn't matter how righteous we act or how many works of the law we do, in his sight, apart from him, they're dirty rags. So that's probably an understanding how you, obviously being a former heathen Edomite being grafted in, probably didn't understand at that time and probably had to learn the hard way. So yeah, definitely. But yeah, this is a very tuned book to learn from. We can learn a lot from this book. But yeah, that's about it. I can't think of anything else to bring up. So everyone who's been listening in and tuning in, I just want to thank everyone. And if we got any new viewers on the channel, please, if you won't mind, like, share, subscribe, click on the notification bell so you get notified every time we do a study. And if you like this stuff, please subscribe. I would really appreciate it. So more people can see, Yahuwah's truth, his word out there, so we can be vessels for Yahuwah's Ruach to get out to the world. Okay, so I really appreciate that. To all of our brothers and sisters, have a great rest of your Shabbat and the week of unleavened bread.